to being a better version of yourself. That's personal development. Well, imagine if you concentrated that time. Now, by the way, when I say get up 15 minutes, it doesn't mean look at the alarm and go, okay, I'm awake, I'll get up soon, I gotta pee now, make some coffee. No, it means 15 minutes of action. And you get up and you dedicate that 15 minutes, and the first thing I tell you to do is write down 10 I ams, 10 identity statements. So it starts out I am, and don't write down who you are. Write down who you want to be.
Right. In the present tense.
In the present tense, because your brain, if you're saying I want to be, it means I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
so
not, won't ever be.
Yeah.
So it has to be now. Yeah. And you say that over and over again with passion and enthusiasm. Certainly write out your goals, read them with passion and enthusiasm. Anybody who's ever been successful have been passionate about what they're succeeding in. Wallace D. Wattles said getting rich is not the result of doing certain things, it's doing things in the certain way. That's passion and enthusiasm. Entheos is the Greek word of enthusiasm, within, the God within. Yep. So yeah, you got a little more force on your side. You know? Do that. Then before you go to bed, you know, ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? Okay. You know, there would be people who your very worst day would be their very best. They would do anything. But see, gratitude is a display of the most powerful force in the universe, which is love. The Bible says if you do not know love, you do not know God, because God is love. It is what, I mean, this universe was made with love, you know. It is that power that gets human beings to go beyond the call of duty at every level. You know, it's the love of your partner, the love of your kids, the love of your country, your cause. That's the most powerful force. Gratitude is your way to say, God, I love you for all that you have given me, or a creator, or a great spirit, or whatever you talk to, you know. It's all, God doesn't actually care what name you call him or her by, you know. Call him Bob. By the way, he made up the name Bob too, so it's his too, right? Or hers. Don't want to piss you off. By the way, Elvis used to wear the Star of David and the cross on the chain together. People said, why do you wear both of them? And he said, well, I don't want to be kept out of heaven on a technicality. But the thing is, you know, have gratitude, you know, and then ask yourself some powerful questions like, what do I love more about my partner today than I did yesterday? You know, amplify your relationship, make it better. You know, things like that. So then you can even ask yourself is, you know, read your goals again before you go to bed and ask yourself, knowing that these goals of mine are already a reality, what actions am I going to take tomorrow to manifest them into my life? You know, and don't even have to worry about it. Let your subconscious mind work on the answers. And you'll wake up and you go, I got this weird hunch. I got a feeling, or then act on it.
And that's the language of the unconscious, isn't it? I tell you, pretend you know you're talking to me, because there's some of me up.
Well, that's a good imagination since you're right here.
Yeah, no, 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I think I might still have it. 7 or 8 years ago, when I had the attitude, I don't want to do all that stuff. Because to me, I just imagine if you'd have told me that back then, there would be some people going, I've heard all before Kurek, I've heard all before Twiddle, I've heard all before Robbins, I've heard all before everyone. I'd almost say, and let me know if you're with me on this, because again, and feel free to say you're wrong, Twiddle. I'd challenge anyone out there who's saying, oh, you're wrong. Just do it, just to prove that we're full of crap. You know what I mean? Because I would suggest that if they just do it and play full out, just to prove us wrong after 28 days, they've changed their story, where no one else could ever get through. Prove us wrong, because your unconscious will show that.
Well, I do have a challenge with that, and that is that's what I call the loser loop.
Okay.
And the reason being is because they're not going to play full out, and that's the ingredient.
And that's the rider. Yeah.
That's the ingredient. And they go, okay, I'll do it, Glenn. Yeah, I'll show you that you're wrong. Okay, okay, right there. That's called a loser.
Yeah, they'll find a way to make it wrong.
Right? And then they go, okay, I'll take the action. Okay, I'll do it just because you say, I'll read my goals. You know, that's not doing it.
I just can't remember.
Then when they don't get the results, then they go, see? I told you wrong. I proved you're right. I proved that I'm right. And I said, no, you didn't prove you're right. You proved that you're a loser. Because you weren't willing to do what it takes. I'll tell you what changed for you. Is you hit your pain threshold. You finally get to the place where you go, I've had enough. This life sucks. I want something more for myself. And I can tell anybody who's watching right now is, you want a good, something to light that fire in your butt? Every one of us is going to be dead forever. We're not coming back. Jesus Christ hasn't come back. Elvis hasn't come back. Thank God Michael Jackson's not coming back. I'm kidding. He was a great guy. I just mean, man, he looked freaky enough when he went into the grave. Imagine what he looked like coming back as a skeleton. Classic surgery cheekbone. I'm kidding. He's a wonderful guy. The thing is that we're all going to be dead forever. Mm. This is a one-time ride. And until you really get that you're going to be dead, people don't start to live. You know, they have this thing that it's going to go on forever, and it's not going to happen, and whatever. But 1989, I was doing a movie with Chuck Norris, and in the Philippines, and I survived a helicopter crash where 5 of my friends died. My best friend, Mike, died in my arms on fire as I got him out of the wreck. You know, I was 27, he was 29. All of a sudden, my Superman cape got ripped off because I realized this wasn't supposed to happen, and it did. And there was no special day, and you get this feeling it's going to be a weird day. We were going to go out and drink beers with Chuck Norris that night. I mean, it was just another day, and it was the most simple thing we were doing on the set. I had been doing hairy stunts in the helicopter and firing the M60 out of the door and scraping and all this stuff, you know. And all we had to do was 15 feet, come right back down, shoot 2 lines of dialogue. Day was over. Chopper went up, drifted out over the edge of the mountain, engine shut off, nose dived 800 feet. I just stepped off. Just stepped off because the camera wasn't seeing me anymore, and I just asked the cameraman, he goes, nah, and I go, whatever, and I'll make room for everybody else. Stepped off, chopper went right up and over. Right then I got, you know, and that it's over, and it's over for good. And if you don't want to get to the end of your life and look back with a lot of regret of going, what was I afraid of? Like, I was afraid, ooh, people were going to say things to me, or ooh, that I was going to fail. I'm facing eternity called death. Now, yeah, I know you're going somewhere else, but this container is a one-time ride, and you want some motivation to get yourself going. What I tell people to do is future pace. Put yourself at the end of your life on your deathbed. Think about every worst case scenario you can think of how bad you're going to feel, of everything you missed out on, all the adventures you can get to do, all the people you disempowered, all the hearts that you broke. You know, your parents, when they first gave you birth, they were hoping that you'd be some child who would go off and do something wonderful, and you did nothing with it. Feel that then, while you're here now, you'll get up and you get in your chair and you go, that's it, I'm going for it. You know, when I saw my father go into retirement, you know, worked his whole life hard, wound up with nothing, you know. Right then I realized, and that was a time when I was still struggling financially. Man, my dad was a harder worker than me. He saved, he tried all these things, and he wound up with nothing. Man, that fear light a fire under my butt. I became financially free. I make more in a year now than my dad made in all 76 years combined. Now, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to impress upon you. If I can do it, anybody can do it. But you got to find that why, that purpose that fires you up to take action. Because taking action without the enthusiasm, you might as well just go back to the pub and start drinking, because it's not going to get you where you want. And then you're going to have more references that it doesn't work. So it's going to be harder for you to get out of it again. So I agree with you. Yet if you're going to do it, you got to do it full out. And you got to play full out with it.
Yeah, I guess because when you live it, because I'm just seeing it through my eyes. I suppose I can't remember consciously hitting that point, because I did just read the books and do the stuff to humour the people who told me to do it.
Well, okay, but
so I'm trying to kind of get the guy who was me. And I tell you, but your story is genius.
Did you finish the books?
Absolutely.
Take any notes?
When I had to, yeah. And I got better at taking notes. First one I didn't. I just read
there you go. But see, so we were talking about
it was a gradual thing for me.
Okay, that's what happened though, is the elite was here. Here's the thing. 25 million people bought Tony Robbins' Personal Power. 2% of the people who bought it actually listened to it.
Right.
Most people never took it out of the shipping box. That's real statistics from Tony. I've known Tony for a long time. That's real statistics. I've met people that go, man, you worked with Anthony Robbins for 5 years? I got his audio program from the 80s. And I go, what do you think? And I go, oh, it's still over there in the shipping box. I never took it out. I go, why didn't you return it? And they go, oh, I would have felt bad telling the operator that it didn't work for me because I didn't actually use it. See, so at least you were in there. And there was something, though, that you were even reading this, because I guarantee you somebody also promised you a carrot. They said, you know, this is what's going to happen for it. And so it was either this pole of pain that moved you away from it, or this carrot that moved you towards it. And then, because you were still open, okay, and then you're, I'm taking some notes. But there you are, and now you're actually doing it. And you're, you know, and I think also, though, that you also, personally, that you probably always had some good enthusiasm, energy, at least for the carrot.
Mm. Mm.
Maybe you didn't have the carrot, you know,